I'm Mr. MegaManFan, and today we're looking at the first home version of Space Invaders on an Atari console that doesn't suck. And sadly, it was not even made by Atari. This is actually a homebrew game sold through AtariAge.com, made by my friend Bob DeCrescenzo. I'm probably butchering his last name and I apologize, but I just call him Pac Man Guy most of the time because he has made very awesome ports of numerous Pac Man games for the Atari 7800, including, unbelievably, Baby Pac Man, the only Pac Man pinball game, and he still found a way to make an Atari 7800 version of it. That is the kind of awesome programmer Bob is. And because of that, he has also made an awesome version of Space Invaders for the Atari 7800. Now, I do have to amend some things that I said previously about the Atari 5200 version. I was complaining that the very first aliens sweep to the right, and I was saying, oh man, that's wrong. They move to the left at the start. So, yes, I'm right and wrong about that because technically they do move to the right at the start in a proper Space Invaders, but they're so close to the border that they immediately bounce off it, drop down, and move left. The problem, the Atari 5200 problem, is that the whole playfield wasn't full of the invaders, so the entire set of invaders sweeps to the right, and that looks terrible. They should all be on the screen and then move to the right and immediately drop down and start coming to the left. That's what proper Space Invaders does. And this is proper Space Invaders. The aliens look right. There's 11 columns by 5 rows. The UFOs display the correct values when you hit them. In fact, I'm betting that Bob is such a perfectionist, and I know Bob is, that if you counted the number of shots you fired, you could actually adjust the values of the UFOs when you shoot them. Because in real arcade Space Invaders, that's what happens. The UFO value is determined by the number of shots that you have fired. And like proper Space Invaders, there are 4 bases to use as shields to hide behind. So this is accurate in almost every detail, down to the lettering at the top, looking like the Taito arcade lettering, the font that they used for displaying the game, which was a very basic, generic looking font. It's like a typewriter text font. It's not special, but that's what makes it special, is that it's not special. This is an authentic experience. And again, Bob being such a perfectionist the way he is, he even put an options menu at the beginning of Space Invaders for the Atari 7800 so that you can actually be an arcade operator and flip the dip switches and change the settings to whatever style of Space Invaders that you want. I prefer the default settings for the most authentic experience, but if you want to do crazy things with it, have at it, go to town. That's what he put it in there for. He wanted it to be as flexible for the home user to enjoy all of the options that they wanted. Another thing I commend him and give him praise for about this version is that it sounds right. The March of the Invaders picks up speed and the music picks up speed at the proper pace. It goes slowly at first. Do, 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 do. And just like real Space Invaders, the more invaders you eliminate, it gets faster and faster and faster. And it has that little bit of pulse quickening effect to it that you just get more and more into it as the march gets faster and the aliens move a little faster. And then eventually, oh my God, they're flying at you. You gotta get those last ones. They're moving so fast and you gotta shoot where they aren't instead of where they are, as was famously said in that episode of Futurama. Thank you, Bob. You finally made a Space Invaders for Atari that doesn't suck.